utter bullshit. Absolutely. And speaking of utter bullshit, we've got our next topic. It's a great segue. I'm just going to hit that home because we're going to be talking about the new era of arena shooters. We've got two more for you after the handful that have already been announced and somewhat come out. We're talking about more. First and foremost, this past week on the Switch, the free-to-play game Star Wars Hunter was kind of announced. Some people were excited about it, but it was officially released. And, you know, here's another IP bomb with a game that, you know, people are going to just buy into. And it's only released so far on the Switch and on mobile, on your phones. Nick.
Interesting.
I can gather that you'd probably be pretty upset, especially coming off the Hanzo. You probably don't have any nice things to say, so let's hear it.
So I played it. It's kind of like Overwatch, but not. It's like Fortnite mixed with Overwatch, but with just like Star Wars skin on it. But taking a step back, how many of these arena shooters do we have like out or coming out? We have like 6 of them.
In the past month, we have about 4 or 5 being announced and kind of coming out. 5.
Yeah, so like we have 5. All right, so we're about like 7 of them total with like Apex and Overwatch, right?
You'd consider
a Disney one.
Hold on. Sorry, you'd consider Apex an arena shooter, like the Battle Royale arena shooter?
No, not really, but like it has an arena shooter aspect to it. So like that's why I'm throwing because they could go arena shooter with it, but like 6 to 7, right? So like we'll say 6, right? You can leave Apex out, right? But 2 of these are owned by Disney.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the IP.
Yeah, the IPs are 2 of them are owned by Disney. One of them is owned by Microsoft, and the other one is owned by what? Valve. It's gonna be So like the Valve shooter's probably going to have too many bot things because you can't even get the bots out of TF2 and everybody's complaining about that. So if they're not going to like fix that, then like half of these arena shooters are probably like technically like dead.
Right. And like we talked about this when Marvel Rivals came out, like what was the decision? Did they start making these games 8-9 years ago when Overwatch came out and was like, holy shit, we've got to get in on this? And like, they're now just coming out because like, why now of all times? And like, you've got this hard IP, but the one thing I want to kind of pivot back to, like you're saying, you've got Disney owning 2 of these, basically 2 of these IPs, the Marvel and then the Star Wars. And like, yeah, that is a conversation piece overall because, you know, the conglomeration of these IPs getting consolidated. I just used 3 big words in a row. Give me some brownie points. But how is that different than like a NetEase or a Tencent when they like take a game? Like, yeah, they might have an original IP, but then they like just sort of like bomb the market with it and like having Pokemon basically, and then just like that's kind of it. So like that's my question for you, and you kind of like I want a comparison thoughts on that briefly.
So like the biggest difference would be that one of them exists in the video game space, and potentially we could argue that they might have already created a game that is actually fun and interesting. Whereas, give me a Disney game. Give me one that's good. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, why are you even trusting these people? They literally do digital from the vault movies. You want to get Snow White digitally? Well, sorry, you got to wait a year. Like, they still do that crap. Like, it's why even trust Disney? They haven't made a good game, just in general. At least a good no multiplayer game ever that's been a Disney property has ever been good.
That Mickey paintbrush game was pretty solid, but yeah, that's not a multiplayer game, it's single player. Story mode. Hey, Billy here. Wanted to take a quick minute to let you know a few different things. If you enjoyed the video so far, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps us out and it tells the algorithm to share it with more people. You can find the Esports Meta live every week on Twitch and YouTube. It's where we film the podcast or hang out, play games, and chat. If social media is more your vibe, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or Twitter if you use Threads. Does anybody use Threads? This is a video game community that's excited to talk about esports, so jump into the conversation. Of course, you can find more videos like this here on YouTube. Just hit that subscribe button right there or there. Thanks for watching, and let's get back to the show. It's in that way too. Sorry, excuse me. In that way too, I don't know. I agree with you. Ultimately, what matters to me is it a good game, and then my competitive side and et cetera, especially for the sake of this podcast, I would want to see competition happen and have fun, be able to play it in the ways you want to play it. But like, I don't like EA making Star Wars games, even Battlefront, where there is a bit of a multiplayer aspect to it. There's no competitive aspect to it really, but like, I liked Jedi Survivor, but I couldn't stand buying it for $60. And like, there you go. You have this IP just kind of like cart in front of the horse on this stuff. And the game is so glitchy and so buggy trying to run it on just a modern system. And like, I bought that shit on sale for $20 and I still don't even feel like it was worth it. It was a fun game, but like, it was rough, my dude. And like, I get your point on it, but like the stuff we have if we have EA making it, if we have some other developer making it, CD Projekt Red, you want to go to the Cyberpunk route where they give us like half of a game and say, oh, we'll finish it later. And it's just a commentary on the complete state of video games in general. And I think that pivots us back into like the idea of this many arena shooters coming out now. Why? And like, we're not going to know why until we get our hands on it. And like, we got our hands on this one and it's kind of okay, mediocre, kind of whatever, fun. But you know,
Switch isn't good enough for this. Like, if we're 100% honest, you know,
and for it to only be Switch and what's it called for now? No PC, no Xbox or PlayStation yet.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to play video games on your hot potato, you can do it all you want, bro. But like, that's not where competitive games belong. It's not on a battery that's red hot because you need to keep the thing plugged in all the time in order to, like, while you're on stage, while you're off stage, like, they're just mobile games. Like, anyway, but like, you know, there's already a battle pass probably, right? There's already skins that have come out, right? And the game isn't even like, I don't even know much about the game besides like what I've experienced, just like going in to play it, right? But I know that there's a lot of skins and you can customize your hero. Thank God. Thank God I can customize it. Like, what, dude? Like, blame Nike for this crap where everybody just wants like a different like color skin for some reason. It's so weird.
Yeah, the
colorway. Like, I don't know anything about these games half the time.
Also, in that way too, I'd also blame like an iPhone where it's like, oh, you can get the new iPhone C in blue or pink, etc. Not even the cases of it, but like, you know, the shell, and like that's like another way they can like increase sales, etc. But like, I want to take just a bit of a bold question here for you. Over under how I want to say over under 6 months, the game server. How long does it stay up?
It'll last as long as Splatoon has lasted. It's a crap game. It's not like, it's fun. And remember, guilty pleasures can be fun. I've said this to you for years now.
Absolutely.
Guilty pleasures are great, right? You can love it. You can love whatever game you want. Like, you can have a lot of fun, but like, legitimately, like, these games aren't good. They're definitely not good. Like, you can already tell that the game's not going to look good. The characters don't move fluid enough and they have too many skins already. Like, and I don't know anything about the gameplay. It's like when you start labeling yourself instead of telling me your hobbies. Like, just let me know what your hobbies are. What's in this game? Bro, like, what's in the game? I don't know. We got skins. Like,
it doesn't seem like there's much.
Customize your hero.
Doesn't seem like there's much in the games. You collect heroes, you play the game, and then I would rather see this be more like a tower defense game or tower defense. And maybe that's it. They find their mojo eventually. The arena shooter was not it. Like, Fortnite was a tower defense game first and foremost. They didn't really sell much, and they almost went bankrupt. They went free to play, and they turned into a battle royale because players were like, hey, I want to compete in a battle royale with this, and it blew up. Maybe that's similar to this. They'll figure it out. Right. I hope it's not a battle royale situation. What's up?
They were right across the street from PUBG, and they just took their dudes. Like, like they were like they just took their guys because they saw PUBG was like exploding, so they just like grabbed a bunch of people. I'm just wondering, like, it looks like it was built on the Fortnite engine, which
It might be.
No.
I doubt it was built on the Fortnite engine unless they bought it from Epic a while ago. But we did see how Disney made that $1.3 billion deal with Epic Games earlier this year. I don't think that was a quick enough turnaround to make this game unless there was a previous deal of like, hey, let's just, outsource those resources.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on this, man. Like, what does it offer? It offers some fun. If you're into it, you like Star Wars IP, the multiplayer. I hope they find the stride. I hope they don't Hanzo you.
Hold on.
Yeah, what's up?
Hold on, bro. It's made by the people who make Farmville. Okay? Yeah. I gotta say more? They make Game of Thrones Legends, bro. Like, that's like their most recent game. Harry Potter Puzzle. If you can't tell that they're trying to take your money, Merge Dragons, the game. It's called Merge Dragons. These are the people who made Star Wars Hunters, man. Zynga Poker. I think Words with Friends. It's it's literally Scrabble, bro.
Dude, I don't know if you remember too, but Zynga's also that MySpace era live journal stuff from back in the day.
About that, homie.
That's super old. I'm dating myself real hard on that one, but man, I don't know. It's fun. If you want to play it, but I don't understand these arena shooters trying to jump in like this. I don't think it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to be a cash grab, like you're saying too. But it just feels so weird. And like, I'm saying that with hope that, it's not going to be that, but we both know it's most likely be, because then if I continue this topic train on it, we had another announcement of another arena shooter in the past 2 weeks. And this one is for PlayStation 5. I think it's going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive called Concord. Yeah, let's bring it up. Here's a blog post of it with some media on it. But it's Concord. It's got similar space future aesthetic to stuff, taking this and that. It's coming from Firewalk Studios. But I think the big difference here is that it's taking the Overwatch 1 model of $40 box buy. You get all the characters and you get the whole game. And I'm sure they're going to add battle passes after that. But I don't know how I feel about it. Well, it's a TBD thing. At least the $40 straight up is a little bit more wholesome. That's not even the right word. It's still not.
I mean, I'm like looking at it right now, and I've said it before. What's it gonna fix? Like, what's it adding? Yeah. It's 5v5 character-driven FPS for PlayStation and PC. So it's on PC.
Okay, it's PC as well, but yeah. That's right there. That's already better than Star Wars Hunters, right?
Yeah, the Switch is a tablet. Like, it lags, and like if you play the game Chris Tales, like you'll understand exactly how underpowered the Switch is. And it's pretty amazing that they're able to get so much out of an underpowered machine, but it can't handle this stuff. Like,
you even talk to people who crack it for emulation and whatnot. Oh, that didn't even do anything. That was garbage video. You talk to people who crack it for emulation, and they're able to, like, with simple changes in the system that's already there, not adding any hardware, not changing software, just flipping a switch. Get it? Flipping a switch. They're able to increase performance like tenfold or some shit like that. And like they might be overclocking it. They might be pushing it like where the developers are uncertain. It might, but like if there's rumors of the Switch 2 actually happening in a realistic way, or this Xbox handheld console coming out, like, I don't know, man. But just to the topic of arena shooters, dude, like I can see this as being a viable, like, I'm going to just take the PlayStation area of the market for arena shooter. But why would I play this over Overwatch? It's probably because I hate Overwatch. It's because I've probably been burnt by Blizzard, etc. And I don't want to go play Marvel Rivals. I mean, you have any like direct conclusions or ideas to why you would pick this, especially with this showcase trailer of like nothing?
I'll tell you right now, like, don't play any of these games. And I'll say this straight up. If you want to play an arena shooter, right, and have other people play your arena shooter, right, there can't be 7 of them out. Like, your game's going to die. It doesn't matter what game you're playing. We already see it with like World of Warcraft, where they have 10 different versions of World of Warcraft that are all current at the same time, and the player base is completely split, and no one's having a really good time for the most part. Okay? Like, and that's player versus player wise, right? Like, no one's playing. So like the odds of you playing against people and not experiencing bots in these games is probably like wishful thinking, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good
that
point.
These games would like take off. The player base is so split.
Well, that's exactly what happened with Anthem on Xbox and PlayStation. What was that? The Division that started happening after that, like quickly died out. There was another one where it was like similar, where you're just playing with bots, not cheating bots, but just like they're trying to like fake that there's population involved.
Yeah, you're just playing with bots, and like as the bot stuff gets more and more like profound and complicated and complex, like, you're just going to be facing more and more bots to reduce load times, or to not reduce load times, to reduce queue times and stuff. And honestly, like, I'm looking at this and it looks like Valorant for the most part, just like Apex Legends mixed with Valorant is what it reminds me of, because of what they're doing on the. Yeah, it just looks like Valorant a little bit, but I don't know. Like, all these player bases, there's too many of them. Like, and what are you going to do? Like, people who play Overwatch right now, if you like Overwatch, but think that like there's something wrong with Overwatch, like, none of these games are going to fix it for you. You're just going to go back to playing Overwatch, like, in general.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's like a good or a bad thing.
That's also a trend that happens in general, is that gamers like to hate on something, and then they don't really know what they have. And it's not to say you can't demand better or, be passionate about the thing you love. But like, I think we saw it with Marvel Rivals. Oh, this is the Overwatch killer. It's not going to be. It's going to be a cash grab. It might have some competitive vibes, and like, you'll be able to play it, but like, you're not going to be able to play it to the same degree. And like, you do you, bro, right? All kind of thing. I think it speaks more to how much they hate something than it does that they like something. So like, that might be the situation here.
The balls on people. I swear to, like, I'm not even joking. Like, I can hate Blizzard all day up and down with everybody, right? But the balls on people to actually say that you're going to kill a Blizzard game is insane to me. Like, that any game out there could actually come out in the market and actually like even mouth the words. Like, you're out of your mind. Like, like, everybody's tried to kill World of Warcraft. Everybody. Yeah. There's games coming out next year that are trying to kill World of Warcraft, and the game's been around for too long, dude. Like, you're not going to kill that company. Like, whatever you do, they have solid engines, and they make decently solid games, and then they just try to run your pockets on it. And that's like what you're upset about. And like, all you're going to do is go to the next person who's going to fleece you.
Right. And like, that's been a complaint of Blizzard Activision King since the Activision takeover back in 2008, I think it was. 10, something like that. We slowly but quickly saw that happen. We saw it with subscriber models. We saw it with like reports and earning reports. And hopefully there's some degree of that's kind of completed with the outing of Bobby Kotick with Microsoft. It's not to say Microsoft isn't that sort of corporate giant that's going to demand stuff, but I think they're going to give a lot more leeway to the players and the playability for like that to kind of build a reputation up, at least for a little bit, and then we'll see what happens after that. And like, Blizzard is something, even through all that makes a polished game, that makes a distinct game. The only one that's going to kill a Blizzard game is Blizzard. We've seen that happen where
they can't even do that.
An in-game mount outsold all of StarCraft 2.
And StarCraft 2 is still kicking. Still has good tournaments.
But
And everybody should probably like watch it because Scarlet is wrecking and completely changed some stuff.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Like,
I wanted to talk about
so
this week,
like,
but there's so much. Scarlet is destroying with the new strat. It's so good.
Yeah, no, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll save that topic for next week. I'd definitely like to touch on that one, but you're right. And I think the biggest thing with that, like, quick point is that, you know, StarCraft 2 is still kicking, but it's scrapped StarCraft 3, possibly, most likely, and it definitely scrapped that like MMO version, that like first person shooter over shoulder, whatever, that they were developing. And there's been people and former developers that have spoken out about that. But yeah, man, it's weird because it feels like we're in 2016 deja vu all over again with these arena shooter stuff. And like Concord doesn't seem necessarily bad, but doesn't necessarily feel good. I think it's going to be in the same level of Deadlock, the Valve one. And I think we're going to see like Marvel Rivals and like the Star Wars Hunter games just kind of be on that lower end, where they're going to take the Pokemon Unite, just make busted ass characters to sell skins and just milk the player base kind of vibes. We're kind of getting to a point of wrapping up. Any sort of last emphasis for this topic, Nick? I know we've already said a lot. We already kind of made our opinions known and said, but you know, here with the arena shooters, what would you like them to see? What would you like them to not see?
Like, what is separating these people besides the graphics? Like, what separates any of these games at all? Right? Like, we're arena shooters. I have Star Wars. That's it. Like, rats. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you have Marvel. Who cares? Thanks. Now you're gonna make DC do it. Like, thanks. Like, that's exactly what we needed. Can't wait for next month. DC arena shooter coming out.
Next month. Talk about next week. Remember that time they tried to come out with that like City of Heroes MMO with DC Universe?
Oh, dude, that thing's still alive and kicking. I think it's on the Switch.
It's a little bit fun, but like it's mostly not.
Nah, like MMOs in general tend to just like not be too fun nowadays, unless they're like older style MMOs. But you know, grumpies.
Right. All right. So with all the topics, we were talking about the Pokemon, TCG, VGC, all that stuff, talking about OWCS. Any final thoughts or what's the word I'm looking for? Just like exiting opinions you want to just scream as we walk out the door here?
I'm giving these guys your money, man. But it's pretty common. It's like
it's a problem with the video game industry in general right now.
Dude, I think it's people just making excuses for companies. Like, every time I talk to people about things that like, hey, this isn't like really good for you and it's not good for me. And they're just like, well, they got to make their money too. Like, who are you talking to? As if you're a representative of Disney or something. Like, shut up. Like, stop talking to me like that. Like, they're out for your money. Well, they got to make a buck. What do you mean? You don't like it? Just don't play it. Like, that's all you have. Like, oh, so I'll just stop playing video games. Thanks. Like, I guess, like.
And like, that argument's not wrong, but it also doesn't really fully encompass the thing, right?
Yeah. Let Disney make their argument for them. Don't make Disney's argument for it. Be on my fucking side, bro. Like, we're in the same, like, we're part of the same squad. We want good quality games and we don't want to spend a lot of money, right? Like, we don't want to spend a huge amount of money. I'm comfortable with $60. Not comfortable with $70 to $100. Like, that's kind of crazy for like 20 hours of my life.
That's that's a pretty big argument right now that there's no inflation on video games, that it's, you know, they should cost $120, etc. It's like,
but shrinkflation already hit. The gameplay's down. Their quality control is down. So like, what do you mean there's no inflation? Like,
it took 3 years to get No Man's Sky to be a playable game.
It took a lawsuit. It didn't take years. It took a lawsuit. It took a judge court ordering them in order to either like refund everybody their money or like literally deliver on promises that they made. So like, I'm not really sure like what you're like, what anybody's argument would be. Like, it's just silly.
Right. And I think that's a good note to end on. It is troubling because it is the state of video games over the last 10, 15, 20 years. we want to see more. We love them. We love the media. I'm sure the developers, a lot of the developers, you get the money men involved, and that's where we're going to see this and that. But like, it's not all on the money men. There is a lot on us. We can't be buying games like that. We can't be supporting half-ass skins, kind of weak. And like, especially when their terms are unclear, they're translucent, not transparent. And that you're only giving them 25% of the total profit on that. That's ridiculous.
$515,000. What did that 25% give? It's got to be like that $13,000 or something. Right?
I was about to say. I was about to say it's got to be that 15K. So I think they only made about 60 grand, but it's still wild that they made 60 grand on that half-baked skin. And like, take it aside, I love Blizzard artists. I think they do the best job across the board with a lot of the stuff, etc. So yeah, let's just say that skin was not our style. It wasn't our flavor. You know, it's still wild they making 60 grand on just that one thing. And then
I'm never on the artist when it comes to like skins that I think are like bad or anything like that, because like they're not the people who ship it. Like they could not be pleased with a piece of art, right? They're not
or put it into competition. Yeah.
I mean, bottom line, we need more companies like Larian Studios. Like, how did they make a game for Hasbro and it not like swindle you out of any money? Think about that. Hasbro, one of the largest companies. Okay. Larian Studios just like said, yeah, go kick bricks, bro. We'll make the game for you, but you got to shut up. Like literally, like that's like what they said. Like, we'll make it, we'll put it out there, but you just got to shut your mouth. If you don't shut your mouth, we won't do it. And like, they made it, they won awards, and here we are.
So in that way, in Larian, we trust. Hopefully more people take after that. Hopefully we see better practices like that. But that's it from us. Thanks for joining us. If you're sticking with us here, if you jumped in, jumped out, appreciate it. You know what to do. It really helps us out. Hit like, subscribe. It's free for you. And like I said, it tells the algorithm to send this video to more people. We're here every Tuesday, going live, talking about the podcast stuff. We're also on our Twitch going live during the week. We'll let you know. I think it's a little random right now, but we're working on the schedule. But hanging out, talking video game stuff, playing some games. But yeah, man. Nick, it was a pleasure talking with you. Thanks for joining me this evening.
Pleasure is all mine, dude.
Awesome. This has been the Esports Meta with your host, Billy Sims and Nicholas Layton. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.